The next thing that I'm going to do is change the actual physical appearance of the material of our model. So instead of it being just the standard generic gray, we're going to change it to the actual material that it's going to be made out of. So on the top level of my assembly up here, Mail Caddy, I'm going to right click and I'm going to select physical material. What that's going to do, it's going to bring up a material library for us to look at. And so the materials are categorized in different folders. We're going to select wood. In the wood folder, I'm going to come down and I'm going to find pine. And so we're going to be creating this Mail Caddy out of pine. So I'll select that and I'm going to drag it over to the top level with the assembly. And so what that's going to do is it's going to make all of the parts out of pine, and it's going to do that automatically for you. You can put different materials on different components individually, but since we're building this out of pine, I chose to just do it at the top level to make all of the parts change at one time. All right, so the next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to start creating some holes for the different fasteners we're going to use to assemble our Mail Caddy. And so if we look at our plan here, we can see that there are 2 screws in each piece of the front, and those screws hold the front to the side. And so if I go down to the actual detail drawing for the front, I can see the placement of those holes for the screws. And I can see the diameter of the hole, 3/32 of an inch, and the depth of that hole, 3/4 of an inch. And so we're going to go ahead and create those holes within our model. All right. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select the top front that I've created, and that's going to be the active part. So I'm going to click to select that, and I'm going to click to create a sketch on the front of that part. It's going to say that components have been moved, but I want to capture that position right now. All right. And so once I've done that, I'm then going to, under my sketching tools, I'm going to find the point tool. All right. So I'm going to click over here and I'm going to just click somewhere in the general area to put a point in, and somewhere over here in the general area to put a point in. And then I'm going to use the dimension tool to dimension those points. And so the height of that point for our hole is going to be 7/8 of an inch. So it should be in the middle, and it should be located in the width dimension. So from here to here, 3/8 of an inch. So I'll go ahead and put those dimensions in. Same thing for the other side, for the other hole. Excuse me, the other point. So we'll make this one 3/8 of an inch, 3/8. And in the height dimension, get my dimension tool again, from here to here. Oh, it's already linked to the other one. So if I change this one, because I drew them in the same plane, they're already linked. And so if I make it 1 inch, notice how that one moves. Make this 7/8 of an inch. It goes back to the center. So again, I'll try to click and select that. Looks like that's not working. So I'm just going to right click on this point tool and select delete. Then we're going to hit escape a few times and try again. Come down here, put in the point, and then try to dimension the point. Three-eighths of an inch in the width. And it should also be having a lot of trouble selecting the height there. So let's try a point from here to here. There we go. So it took a little bit of selecting, but I finally was able to get that in the correct position. So then I'll make that 7/8 of an inch. And I can go ahead and click Finish Sketch. And so again, what we've done is created some points here, and we're going to use those points to create holes. So I'm going to go ahead and get my hole tool now. and I'm going to select these points. And then I'm going to edit these parameters within the hole tool. So the diameter of our hole, we just looked it up. It was 3/32 of an inch. So I'll type that in, 3/32. And the depth of that hole, so this dimension, should be 3/4 of an inch. So 3/4. And I'll go ahead and click OK. I can then select the top level of my model and see what we've done. So basically, we've created those pilot holes for our screws that are going to go into our part. All right, so the last one we're going to do here is we're going to create 5 holes in the bottom one, 2 for, just like we did on this one, for the screws that connect the front to the side, but then also 3 for the hooks that we're going to put in of our part. And so I'm going to go to front 1, which is the bottom front. I'm going to click to create a sketch. If I come down here into my plans and I look at the second front, I can see that all the dimensions and the spacing of those holes, and so I'm going to apply those to points within my Fusion file. So I'm going to go ahead and click create. I'm going to select point again. I'm going to put a point here and here to start out with, and then I'm going to put some points in the middle. So there's 3 that go in the middle, and then I'm going to start dimensioning them. And so I'll hit escape on my keyboard. I'll select the dimension tool in the width dimension from here to here. Make sure I have it going in the correct orientation. We don't want that angle. We want here. No, we don't want that. So I have that angle in there. I don't want that. So I'm going to right click on it and say delete. Try again. So I'll go from the edge to here. And we want that dimension to be 3/8 of an inch. So I'll type that in. To our next hole, from that edge to here, if we look at our plan, it is 2 inches. So I'll put that in. From this edge to the middle hole, it is 4 3/4. So I'll put that in. To the next hole from this side, it's 2 inches. So I'll put that in. And from here to here for our last hole, again, it's selecting the dimension and not the edge, which is what I want. So put this one in, and that's going to be 3/8 of an inch. All right, now we need to do the height dimension. So I'll go from this point to here, and the height of that should be 7/8 of an inch. So I'll type in 7/8. They're actually all 7/8, and so just select the bottom and here, 7/8, 7/8. From this point to here, 7/8. From here to here, 7/8 of an inch. And so we have all those holes in now. I'll go ahead and click Finish Sketch. Again, these are points. I called them holes, but they're really just points. So I'll select my hole tool now. I'm going to select these first 2 holes. Again, the diameter is going to be 3/32 for these holes. The depth is going to be 3/4 of an inch. So I'll go ahead and click OK. Notice that when I do that, the other points went away. And so under my part, I'm going to click the drop down, I'm going to click sketches, and I'm going to select sketch 2. And so what that does, it's going to bring back those points so I can use them to create my other holes. So I'm going to select this hole, and this hole now. Those holes are going to be the same dimension, and so those are 1/16 of an inch on diameter. So for here, I'm going to type in 1/16. And then for a depth, they're also going to be 3/4 of an inch. So I'll type in 3/4 and click OK. So once I've done that, I've created all of the holes I need. I'll go ahead and click the top level view and you can see what we've done again. we've created these holes so that we can put in our fasteners for our to hold our project together. To make it look a little bit normal again, instead of seeing the point and the holes, I'll come over here and I'll deselect the sketch that's showing those points, and then you can just see the actual holes. The last set of holes we need to create are for our hook that's going to go on the back. And so that hook will allow us to put in a little fastener that will allow us to hang this on the wall. And so I'm going to go up here under back one. I'm going to select that. Excuse me, I'm going to select the mirrored back. That's the one we want to be creating on. And I'm going to go ahead and click to create a new sketch on that. On that sketch, I'm going to again grab the point tool. I'm going to click to put 2 points in. Then I'm going to dimension those points based on the specifications in our plan. So if we look at this, 2 9/16 to the first one, 2 27/32 to the second one. And they're 1 inch from the top. And so in my plan, I'm going to go ahead and dimension that. So from this point to here, it is going to be 2 9/16. Select enter. And then from this point to this point, it is 2 27/32. So I'll type in 2 27/32, hit enter. And then the height of those two is going to be, let's do it from the other dimension, just like it is on our plan. And so I'm going to delete that dimension. So we'll go from the top down, just like it is on our plan. We're going to make it 1 inch. And notice it moved both of those because I drew them together. If yours didn't, just put in another dimension for 1 inch right there, and you should be good to go. So I'll go ahead and click Finish Sketch. I'll grab my hole tool again, select those 2 points. Those are 1/16 of an inch holes. So in my diameter, I'll type in 1/16. And the depth of those is just going to be 3/32 of an inch. So I'll type in 3/32 and select OK. And that has created our last set of holes that we need to be able to finish assembling our mail caddy.